right, it's time for the next episode of The Soul Finder. And as we record these things, new topics come up
as we go
in every episode that we do. And in the last episode, we talked about being told you only have a certain amount of time to live. And you brought up a great point about how and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how we've basically been trained to think backwards.
Yes, we're taught everything opposite of what we should be taught were we going to evolve our soul and remember that we're all one. We are taught everything. It is amazing how deep that goes, that we're taught just the opposite of what we should be taught.
And the specific topic that we talked about was we celebrate birth.
When that's probably the one to cry about. And then death and passing, it's our eternal energetic soul leaving the human transport system is all it is. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go somewhere else and do something else. Yeah. And it's not we've been taught to grieve it. And I'm not making light of losing a loved one. Please don't misunderstand me, because that is a human experience. It's a very emotional experience, and it is very hard to deal with. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But the actual process of death, of what we call death and what is passing on, is not. If you have an eternal soul, if you believe that, there is no way you're not dead. You've just left the earth vehicle, which is the human body, and you're moving to another place in space or another reincarnation, whatever it is that you believe. But like I said, everyone believes that the soul is eternal. Mm-hmm. So if we're eternal, we're not expiring. But we're taught that we expired, and oh my God, it's terrible, and you should grieve this forever, and by God, if you don't remember that person for 50 years down the road, you've done them wrong. All these things are programmed and taught to us, in my opinion today, to keep us stuck in the low frequency.
Yes. And being stuck in low frequency, you've taught me this, I think. I think I've got this right. There are people in low frequency, and you graduate, you move, you progress.
You evolve your soul.
And so it's being low frequency, that's not an insult.
Absolutely not. We've all been in the low frequency. All of us have been there. Many of us get stuck there. Low frequency is just what I refer to as the beginning of the healing path, the beginning of the evolving of your soul, the beginning of growth, healing, whatever word you want to put to it. Because in the low frequency is where people, what I describe as where people are, they're stuck in the victim survivor ways of life, meaning they can't get out of the mud. They're stuck there replaying the same patterns over and over and over, and they don't even if new thoughts and things are given to them, they choose sometimes not to integrate those thoughts or to absolutely say, oh, that's not true, and they knock it out. And it's like what I call black and white thinking, meaning what I mean by that is it's 100% this way or it's 100% this way. There is no gray area. In my experience, as people evolve their soul, there becomes a gray area in the middle, and it means that when they're asked something, it's no longer 100% this or 100% that. There becomes this gray area that says, well, according to the conditions, it's very relative to whatever the conditions in the question are about, that people use that to determine what their response is. And that, in my experience, from how I relate to everything, that comes from souls that have evolved out of the victim survivorhood, and they are growing their soul. They're learning how to get to higher frequencies.
Just to reset a little bit, what's a victim survivor mode?
So in the victim survivor mode, what I refer to when I use that term, and thank you for saying that because I always forget about my terms and people not knowing them, but a victim survivor is all of us when we're born into this planet and we grow, and a victim survivor can be 10 years old, 20 years old, 100 years old. The age is not relative to what I'm talking about. The victim survivor is the person that is still caught in the mindset that I am the way I am because they did this to me.
Yes.
They're in a victim mindset of, I need a rescuer. Someone's going to come rescue me. I need that. Where are they? That is what I refer to as the victim survivor. It's only the next step I take people through is the healing step, which the healing step is becoming aware that they're a victim survivor, aware of the patterns of behavior that they continue to repeat and that they're stuck in. So as we go through the healing step, what we're moving toward is becoming the creator of their life. And to be the creator of your life, instead of a victim, a perpetrator doing something to me, and a rescuer coming to save me, the higher frequency thought pattern around that is, I'm the creator of my life. I have a challenge. And if I don't know how to solve this challenge, I'm going to go get a coach to help me solve this challenge. So that's the high frequency, more evolved soul. And it doesn't mean anything's better about them. It just means they're farther along on the path of evolving their soul. That's all that means.
Let me ask you this, and I could be wrong. I've always believed that and I've never used victim survivor.
Right.
But one of the things I think that makes us so good together is what you teach is common sense to me. And it's definitely not common sense to everyone. And once again, that's not an insult.
No, it's not.
Someone.
No.
It just makes sense to me on a spiritual level. And just on a life application type level. And I've always believed part of being able to thrive and survive on Earth is recognizing the fact that this is not a perfect place.
Absolutely.
And an example I'll use is one of the podcasts that I produced was a podcast I really enjoyed producing, actually. It was a middle-aged, divorced white woman who partnered up with a young, single black man. And they just talked about life. And they would talk about how they see the same exact situation.
Right.
But
from
your
different
life
eyes.
Experiences are so different. And one of the episodes that they did was about how both of them, one of the things they agreed on was that when things are going really well, you're always waiting for that other shoe to fall. You're always waiting for something bad to happen. And they did a good job discussing why is that. And I finally had to turn my microphone on, which this was a podcast I didn't talk on, which I'm sure, Kathy, you'd probably like if I keep my mouth shut a little bit more.
No.
on yours. But I finally turned my mic on. I said, well, the reason you both think the same way is because the other shoe will fall. Earth is not designed to be perfect.
Right.
You don't grow when things are perfect. And it's cliche, but you grow when things
are the worst.
Are bad. And you grow when you deal with issues. When you deal with problems, that's where you grow.
Yes.
And understanding that, I think, helps you also.
Yes. And to that point, we can grow without things getting bad for us. The problem is we become complacent and we won't do it. Mm-hmm. And in order for our souls to keep evolving, we have to be pushed sometimes, and that's when these things will happen in order to get you moving again on doing what I call evolving your soul.
Yeah. And I may just be BSing myself to get through life. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you that I can pretty much say that every bad period that I've had in life, any negative, I've come out stronger.
Oh, yes.
I've come out learning something. I've come out
I wouldn't be doing this work. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this work had it not been for that illness.
Yeah.
That put me flat on my back. And it took 7 years to get well. I would not be doing this.
So the good times don't last forever, but the bad times definitely don't last forever.
No, they don't. And
but you can make a bad time a lot worse.
Much worse. Oh, yes. And that, the way I describe that the easiest is you see everything that's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And as long as you see everything that's wrong with it, it's going to continue to all be wrong. The way to get out of a bad situation the fastest is the most direct path. It's usually the scariest, and you have to hit a lot of unknowns, but it is to see what's right and follow your heart. And that will get you out of the bad situations the fastest. That's the direct line out.
Say that one more time. That makes...
I think what I said was, for the direct line out of a really bad situation is to follow your heart, face the fears, and go straight through all of that, because that's what's going to get you out of it. And you have to see what's right in order to even find a path out.
Yeah.
You have to see what's right all the time.
I think that's so important.
And follow your heart, not your analytical left mind brain.
That could be another topic, too.
Yes, it could, because that is your direct path out. The analytical brain will analyze and tell you things because you don't have control of it, and it will lead you astray.
Let's make that the topic for the next episode.
All right.
This is so easy with you.
I know.
Okay, KathyDCarter.com is where you need to go to find everything about Kathy, about the services that she provides. Are you still doing stuff with Little Mermaid?
Yes, the Mindful Mermaid.
Talk about that real quick, the Mindful.
Yes.
The Little Mermaid. The Mindful Mermaid.
Vonda Kay has opened the Mindful Mermaid store here in Allen. It's a metaphysical boutique. She has, oh my gosh, she's got all good things, metaphysical. Anything you could think of almost. She has the meditation stuff. She has the crystals. She has the cards, the books, the singing bowls. I mean, she has got something for everyone in her store. And we're also holding... I'm holding some of my meetups there. I have Ask Kathy night where you come and you just ask me questions and I answer. And we have, she's getting ready to bring in some new fun ideas and have some availability for some really nice things. I'm not going to give that secret away because that's hers to give. But we have a lot of fun there at the store, and it's a beautiful place. You should visit.
All right.